There's definitely a change in the late 19th and early 20th century in the way people think about sound. And you begin to see reformers who are trying to change the soundscape of the city. You begin to see complaints about noise. You know, the classic way to ask this question is, what's the difference between sound and noise? And when does sound become noise? And you could say it's when it's in the wrong place, when you're hearing a jackhammer in your living room, or you could say it's when it interferes with your ability to do your work. There are lots of ways to define it, but at some point in the 20th century, things that had been treated as just sound come to be treated as noise. And noise is a problem, and you begin to see movements to reform noise and say, you know, we have to get rid of this noise. And they invent the decibel meter in the early 20th century to actually give you an objective measure of how loud is this thing, and is it dangerous, and when can we decide? So there's really a change in thinking about sound and thinking about ways to differentiate sound from noise. Richard Rath makes this really nice argument about the colonial era, and he points out that your life would be organized by sounds in a way that it's not now. That the bell, for example, village bells were really important, and any village of any size had church bells or bells on a city hall that rang at regular hours. And being within earshot, he says, he likes that word, being within earshot of the bells was part of the way that you were organized into the natural world. Not the natural world, the human world. You were organized into the social world. It was a sign of the authority of the social world and your participation in it. And people talked about being within earshot. And the bells in early literature and diaries are an important part of people's daily life. The ringing of the bells and the cueing from bells, of being able to hear the bells, is really significant. And that's kind of dropped out because we don't need to be within earshot of anything. It might be useful to hear bells and you might use it, but it's not necessary. I mean, you just use your cell phone, you know, you have a watch, you're connected in a different way. So he thinks that it's being within earshot is a sign of being under the rule or complicit in or part of the rule of the local social authority.